Hello friends, I hope you all are keeping safe. On behalf of Gifted Hands Fashion House, I present to you the making of an umbrella gown, an umbrella dress. This is a very simple dress, both in cutting and sewing. It's something that may not even take up to 30 minutes. It's just very simple to make. So as you watch me, you can even get your own fabric and follow me suit. And then at the end of the day, you'll be happy you did. To make an umbrella dress, you need the following measurements. You need your shoulder measurement, your bust measurement, your full length, and your chest line measurement. The shoulder measurement is 11 divided by 2, 5.5, plus half-inch seam allowance or 0.5-inch seam allowance. And then your bust measurement is 26 divided by 4, which is 6.5, plus 3 to 4 inches seam allowance, because it's a flare gown. You want it to be big enough. Then, if you don't want it to be that big, you can just add like 1 inch or 2 inches seam allowance. Then your full length is 26 plus 1 inch seam allowance, and the chest line is 6 plus half-inch seam allowance. Now let's go to the cutting table and watch me as I do the work. To take my shoulder measurement, which is 11 divided by 2, 5.5, plus half-inch, that's 5.75. I'll mark out my 5.75 here. From the close edge, place your tape from the close edge. Don't place it from the open edge. Place it from the close edge and take your 5.75. So I'll check for 5.75. This is my 5.75 here. And when you get your 5.75, you roll up a line, mark it out like this. This is my 5.75. So all my measurements will be starting from this line. The next measurement I need to take is my chest line measurement. And I'm working with a chest line of 6.5. So I'll mark my 6.5 here. This is 6.5. And then I'll take my neck measurement. My neck, I'll be using 2.5 for my neck. This is my 2.5 here. Mark it. And then I'll connect my shoulder. I'll connect my armhole. I'll connect my armhole here. This is my armhole. I'll connect it. Connect it to this point. I'll remove half-inch for my shoulder slant. I'll take off half-inch for my shoulder slant. And then I'm left with 6 inches. I'll take half of this 6 inch, which is 3. I've marked it here. And remember, front shoulder and back shoulder are not always the same. So the front shoulder normally exceeds with 0.5 or 0.75, depending on the size of the person you're sewing. So this one, I'll take 0.5 off. This is my 0.5. And then I'll connect my armhole here. Connect this armhole with my curve ruler. I'll connect it like this with my curve ruler. From here now, I'll take my shoulder slant like this, and then I'll equally take the depth of my neck. I'll be using 3 inches for my neck depth. I'll mark it and connect. I also curve my neck depth like this. I'll curve it with a round neck. So I'm done with the upper part of this dress. The next thing is to connect the length of the dress, and I'm working with a full length of 26. So I'll place my tape like this, take my 26, this is my 26 here, I'll mark it, then I'll take it all through in a circular pattern like this, mark the 26, continue till I get to the end, mark my 26, 26. So I've been able to get my curve here. This is my curve, and also the full length for this dress. I repeat, to do this work, you first of all measure your shoulder. We are working with a shoulder of 5.75. You place your tape like this and measure out your 5.75. After you've done that, you take your armhole. Now this is our umbrella dress. We have been able to mark out our measurements. And this dress is going to be very flayed. The flare is going to be very flowy. But if you don't want much flare, in your umbrella dress, what you will do is, after taking your chest line, this is your chest line here, you measure out your bust. The bust we are working with here is bust of 26, divide by 4 to get 6.5. That's 6.5, you can add like 2 inches seam allowance. 6.5 plus 2, that's 8.5. Or you can even add 1, that is if you don't want much flare. Now 6.5 plus 1 is 7.5, which is here. And then you connect this shoulder to this point like this. Connect it like this, and then sketch out your armhole. And then from this point, you now take the length of your blouse. I hope that is clear enough. But this one, I want the gown to be very flayed. I want something that is very flayed. So with this now, we'll be cutting it out. I'll start with the full length. After that, I'll cut off from this shoulder area. Then I'll cut the armhole. I told you the front armhole and back armhole are always different. So what you need to do in this case, you need to construct 2 armholes since you are cutting the cloth together, both front and back. So you construct 2 armholes like this. This is your first armhole, and this is your second armhole. Now this first armhole, I'll be cutting from it. I'll cut from the first armhole like this. We'll cut this one later for the front. This is my shoulder slant, and then my neck measurement. This is our neck. Now I'll cut out the leg. It's like this. Now I've been able to cut out the dress, my umbrella dress. I'll remove one piece so that I can shape the remaining armhole. And this is what I have here. I'll now arrange it and shape the armhole. Like I said earlier, front armhole and back armhole are always different. You don't cut them in the same method, with the same method, sorry. So I'll now make out my front armhole. Voila, that's all. Now you can fold your fabric, the fabric you're working with. You fold it in such a way that this is going to be a sleeveless dress. So you fold it in such a way that the fabric is going to cover for the neck and armhole. It's going to cover for your neck and your armhole. So as you can see now, the way I place this fabric on the one I'll be using for facing, the way I placed it on top, it has covered both the neck. See the neck here. It has covered this neck, covered the shoulder, and also covered the armhole. So with this, I can conveniently cut out. When I cut it, I'll then use it for my I'll use it to do facing. I'll use it to face the neckline and the armhole of this dress. Now see as I do it here. See what I'll do. You cut it like this. You can hold it with pin if it seems stubborn. So after I've done this, the next thing you need to do is just to give it a shape you want. Any shape, any desired shape you like, you can give it. So we'll see how I'll cut it here. Give it any desired shape, any shape of your choice, anyhow you want it. This is what I came up with. Now, this is how I'm going to sew it. I'll use this, place it on top of the main fabric like this. I'll place it like this, neckline to neckline, right side facing each other. Take note, the right side must be facing each other. And then I'll place it like this, armhole to armhole, neckline to neckline. You can use pin. You can tack it up with your office pin. You tack it here and here. Then I'll take this to my sewing machine. I'll sew with half an inch round the neck. I'll sew with half an inch round the neck. I'll notch it, top stitch it, and then when I top stitch it, I'll turn it. You don't need to sew the shoulder. Take note. You don't need to sew the shoulder. Yes, and since it is sleeveless, this gown is going to be a sleeveless gown. So this shoulder, when you are making sleeveless, always reduce your shoulder by 1 inch. So this gown is going to be a sleeveless gown. I'll reduce this shoulder by 1 inch. I'll have to reduce it by 1 inch. And of course, as I sew here, I'll also sew the armhole. I'll also sew like this. Okay? See how I do it here. As I reduce this shoulder by 1 inch, I reduce here by 1 inch, and then I'll sew like this. I'll sew with the shape of the armhole like this. Sew here too, and then I'll sew my neck, or sew on the neck like this. And then when I'm done doing this, I'll now flip it over, I'll turn it over to the other side to get this. Okay, I'll do it, and then I'll bring it back for you to see what it is like. And also, you repeat the same thing. The same way you cut out this facing, you cut it also for the back. You cut the same facing for your back. The same procedure you took here, you repeat the same procedure on this one. And then when you are done sewing up the neckline and armhole, you bring the two fabrics together. You place the two fabrics together, right side facing each other. This is right side, this is right side. You place the two together, and then now you sew your shoulder. This is when you now stitch up the shoulder. You stitch it up with half an inch. That half inch allowance we left. You stitch it up, and then you stitch up this line. You stitch up here. Same thing here. You stitch up this part, and you hem the lower part round. You hem it. If you don't want to hem, you can interlock it. You interlock it, fold it once, and sew. And that is all for this umbrella dress. When I'm done doing it, I'll bring it up for you all to see the outcome. Thank you. With what you've seen so far, if you have interest to learn more, to know more about this, if you want to know more from where this is coming from, please join us in our tailoring fashion school. We are based in Nnewi, Anambra State. Yes, Gifted Hands Fashion House is the place. Come to Gifted Hands Fashion House. In just 6 months, you become a pro in whatever field you want to learn in fashion. Thank you.